6:30, we'll call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Ronnie Bush. Here. Samuel Newton. Luann Hayes. Here. Todd McKenna. Here. William Hadley. Here. Dale Diddens. Here. Lynette Williams. Here. Adam Mottero.
Here.
Larry Jogers. Here. Brooke Deininger. Scott Holmes.
Present.
Jackie DeMeester. Here. Nicole Baker.
Here.
Steve Frick.
Present.
Brian Brandt. Tim Whalen.
Yes, ma'am.
13 present, 3 absent.
Mr. Whalen, would you lead us in prayer? And Ms. Williams, would you lead us in the pledge?
Lord God Almighty, thank you for the opportunity to come before you again in representation of the people of Stephenson County, Illinois. Pray that you help us make a good decision tonight on using the county's resources to purchase copier equipment for the coming year. Pray that we could discuss this in a reasonable manner. We would make a good choice and you, the people who work, live in Stephenson County. Thank you and praise you. In Jesus' name.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Also, I would like to remind everyone to please press the button on your microphone. Make sure the green light is on when you speak, as well as please speak directly into the microphone so the people watching on YouTube can hear us. With that, may I get an approval of the agenda, please?
So moved.
By Mr. Bush. Is there a second? By Mrs. Baker. Is there any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there any public comment tonight? Please come up to the podium if you would, and you'll be given 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is, I'll get that up. Name is Nathan Johnson. I'm with Access Systems. We're one of the vendors that you guys are assessing. Couple things just wanted to bring to your guys' attention. So we've been in business since 1986. We are one of the largest dealers in the Midwest when it comes to equipment. We're actually number 2 in the nation when it comes to Sharp equipment specifically. We are a multi-line dealer. We sell Sharp, Ricoh, Toshiba, Konica Minolta, Lexmark, and HP. And out of all those, we chose Sharp for your organization. And one of those reasons was the stability of Sharp. So I did bring a graph. We do have more copies to pass around, but in comparing brands, Sharp is the only manufacturer with more machines in field today than pre-COVID. They are actually up 19% in shipments since 2019. Canon is down 27%, Xerox is down 28%, Konica Minolta is down 31%, Ricoh is down 30%. So out of all the major players, they are the only player that is growing. In addition, Access Systems has grown year over year an average of 16% since 2005 when our current CEO bought the company. With that, we've continued to expand our footprint. I came on board with the company in 2019. We've doubled since then. Despite COVID, despite our industry flatlining and declining, we've continued to grow. In addition, looking at the pricing comparison that you had at the bid opening, you could buy 2 of every Sharp copier for the price that's being charged for the Canon product. We have tons of references that would stand up for the Sharp product, and we're going to service the thing. If they don't work, we wouldn't be able to service them at the low rates that we agree to service them. We'd be out of business. We would not be growing. With that, my ask to the board is either buy 2 of every copier or prepay for your service. Use those grant funds to go towards service. We can include that in the purchase price if you want. That way you don't have to pay a dime for service for the next 5 years. Rather than spending an additional, I think it's about $100,000 more for canning gear. Go with the leading manufacturer that's still innovating and growing in the market space. That's my ask for the board. Any questions?
All right, thank you very much. Anyone else for public comment? Please come on up. Again, you'll be given 3 minutes.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, hello, everyone. Good?
Yes.
I'm Dayton with Gordon Flesh, Dayton Podman. Many of you may have seen me walking around with a suit on around Stephenson County. Anyways, I am a part of this bid with Gordon Flesh. And anyways, thank you again for your time to listen to this offering. But anyways, the difference between Gordon Flesh and all these other dealers within the area simply is that we're a family-owned business for the last 70 years. And we have 116 technicians within the Madison, Freeport, Stephenson County, Winnebago County area. And Canon products are the best in the industry, hands down. I know you may look at a graph, but that's for A3 products, which are 11 by 17, they are the best, hands down. And there's graphs to prove it. So for the sake of the county and for ROI's sake, over a long period of time, owning a higher quality device, which a Canon has twice as much steel than any other device in the industry, yeah, it's by far the best product, and we have the best service. So for Stephenson County, which of course we have the business right now, there's one dedicated technician that represents all of the departments. And say something happens and that one technician can't come in for that day, we have a shadow, actually 3 shadows. So no matter what, if something happens, our response time is 2.3 hours at this current moment. And diving a little deeper into that, we have $1.2 million worth of inventory of just parts alone, so we can service you. We have offices throughout the Midwest, 32 offices. I mean, you know, I get really passionate talking about this company because it's a family-owned business, and you never would have thought you'd want to sell paper clips, but when you work for a great company, it really shows. So, and as you, the constituents, you want to know why. Why do we invest the $267,000 into new copiers? And the reason why simply is they're much better technology. And over a long period of time, your cost benefit will be saved. And if you look at our other references, like such as Winnebago County, they have devices that are running for 11, 12 years that are running great. And they're Canon products. They're not Sharp devices. And if this was a lease, I apologize, I don't know what the time is, but
Your time is up.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Anyone else for public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Approval of bid for copier equipment and services. IT Director Louie, would you please come out to the podium?
Pulling double duty tonight, running the camera and I'm on camera. So I wanted to just get up here and share. You guys are probably tired of hearing from me today. I think I sent out at least 2 or 3 emails because I want everybody to be informed and make the best decision for the county as a whole. I will tell you, I have no skin in this game, no dog in the fight. I understand that you guys are looking at it from every aspect, but what I will tell you is that we didn't go through this process because we're unhappy with Gordon Flesh at all. Many of you that have been here a while know that we've had the determination to co-term all the agreements so we all could be on the same timeline and we didn't have different contracts in different offices, and it gives us the ability moving forward that purchasing this equipment outright, if we ever go back into a lease, we all get to go back in together and we can be countywide and we have one contract. And I think that's been a goal for at least 6 to 10 years. I think it goes back to when I was circuit clerk. So that's what started this process. The grant accelerated that process because we have a small timeline that we have to work within because the funds have to be issued by a certain date and such. We did get 4 bids back in the bidding process, and I will tell you our top 2 choices are here this evening. Gordon Flesh and Access Systems. We went through all the references Today, we went through all the pluses and minuses, but I will tell you, references is what kind of, I kind of went back and forth where I was just kind of 50-50. I could see both sides of the argument, but when we really dug into references and called a few, we eliminated a couple companies because they didn't have contact information for one of the references. Another one gave us a wrong phone number. And in Access's case, and this is no knock on them, we did call one of their references who did not give a raving review. They weren't happy with the Sharp copiers. They said that they felt the shelf life on a Sharp was like 3 years, and we're looking to keep these at least 5 of what we're doing. And again, I don't know if that's due to the size. I asked the size of the county, I don't know if it's due to volume. I don't know what their issues were, but they basically said that they have to service them quite a bit, is basically what we heard. So with that, all I can say is I've not experienced it. I don't know Sharp. If I got up here and told you I was a copier expert, I'd be lying. I handle IT, but what I can tell you is that you don't see Gordon Flesh here much, and that's because the stuff just works. We don't have offices down. We don't have issues with waiting on service if we need it. And some of the other aspects that we heard was from a billing standpoint with some of the companies that the billing gets messed up quite a bit. I don't think Access was one of those. It was more of a Sharp argument for one of the references we used. And then another county that we called for Access, they basically said they had 3 different companies in the county, probably along the lines of what we had at one point when everybody had their own. So again, I understand that the Gordon Flesh bid is more. I wholeheartedly get that, but I can tell you, if anybody was here the last time when we had R.K. Dixon, how often they were here fixing stuff and how often we were broke down and the frustration that there was. That's why I'm just giving you the details. Whatever decision you guys land on, I will have all the department heads call you when they're angry and their stuff is down. I just wanted to give the best amount of information. They are the top 2 that we would go with, but we have no experience in Sharp. I will say the reviews we got today weren't raving, and I did do some research on my own, and from what I can tell on the industry standards and rankings, Canon is #1, with Ricoh #2. I suppose you can go to different websites and probably find stuff to back your argument for whatever is what, but I would just like to point out, again, we didn't start this because we were unhappy with Gordon Flesh, that the products were bad, any of that. We did it solely to co-term everything and to do it right. We did an RFP, and the numbers are where the numbers are. The only thing I don't know, and maybe they can answer this, I'm not for sure, but every company outside of Gordon Flesh had to make up the buyout of like almost $89,000 that you guys see there. I don't know if they were able to be competitive because the copiers are cheaper copiers. I'm not saying that they are, I don't know. But to make those competitive while eating $89,000 to get us out of our current thing, I just, not knowing copiers, I would like to know if they're mid-level, high-level, and those are some of the questions that I honestly just thought about. But I will take any questions that anybody has.
Before we get into that, I want to just briefly go through the bids if I could. I'm going to start lowest to highest. So the lowest bid was Access Systems on the Sharp for $173,618.24. The purchase price, $723.80 monthly. From there, it was Proven IT out of Schaumburg, $208,789.24, or $1,157.15 monthly. And then it was Konica Minolta from Rockford, purchase price of $237,677.24, and $977.29 a month. And finally, Gordon Flesh of Madison, $267,453.08, $1,438.39. Before we open it up for questions, can I get a motion on the floor for approval of one of them? Okay, Ms. Hayes? What is your motion? We need to select one.
I make a motion to approve the Gordon Flesh.
Okay.
Bid.
And Mr. Bush, now we can open up for discussion and questions. Mr. Hadley, go ahead.
How much is the grant for?
It'll be for the full amount. Right now, we're approved up to the 267,000,
Okay,
or whatever the top bid is.
and these contracts are for how long?
5 years.
All of them for 5 years then? So, and we have to have this done because the grant has to be approved by the end of the month? or-
We've already received approval to spend money. We just got to land on the vendor, but Chanel has to spend the money, I think, she has to have the money paid by June, I believe. I'm not for
Okay.
sure, but she's up against a timeline. So we basically have to place the order, get invoiced, and then she has to cut a check within a certain amount of time.
Okay. Thank you for your information and thank you for doing the work you've been doing. So I will not support this tonight, Gordon Flesh. I have some reasons why. I'll go through them. Is number one, I do respect the department heads and elected officials' opinions, but at the end of the day, we work for the taxpayers of Stephenson County. And that's very important to me, that we look at the best deal. And I did some of my own research and called some people on Access System, and I got back some good response and everything. I don't know who you called, don't care, but I do care what I found out, and that they are a top-notch company. I guess I have a question for them, if the salesperson could come back up again, please.
Sure.
For access?
Yeah, Access, please.
I'll allow it. It's fine. Come on up.
So you were the lowest quote at 173,000. Could you tell me the reason why you're lower than the other people?
Yeah, so we have a nationally bid contract with Sharp. And then beyond that, in order to continue to grow our business, we also have our own negotiated pricing to help when there's buyout situations like this. In this case, it was a bit of an unlevel playing field having a huge buyout to overcome. We have funds that we set aside as a company to help offset that. So that, in addition to coming in below the state bid pricing on Sharp equipment, which, to be honest, I'm very surprised that Canon would meet the pricing, because I mean, that's just $100,000 in difference is huge without a buyout on this level of machines. So that's the biggest thing. We are the #2 Sharp dealer in the nation. We buy the equipment as good as anyone. No one else buys at our pricing.
Yeah, now I got another, you brought something up interesting. So you're charging the monthly maintenance fee of approximately $724, times 12 would come out to $8,688 a year.
Yep.
And over a 5-year period, it would be $43,440. You said we could include this into
Into the purchase price.
the
Yep.
purchase price, where I want to let the board know that for 5 years, we would not have to budget a line item for this. Where we would have to budget a line item for Gordon Flesh, where they're charging $1,438 for 12 months is $17,256 for, so it's quite more expensive to go with, we would have to budget with Gordon Flesh for 5 years at $17,256. So I just wanted the board to know that. We're in the business to try to save the taxpayers money. And I know the grant's for a certain amount of money, but grants are taxpayers' money also. So I just want you to be aware of it. But thank you for now, real quick too, he mentioned about service, about your service to the county.
Yeah, so we have 8 technicians that are dispatched out of Dubuque. Several of those are focused in this area. So we have a primary technician for Freeport Monroe corridor, as well as 2 secondary technicians and a service manager that are fully located. Their only territory is Illinois and Wisconsin. We only handle a few counties in Wisconsin, so it's not a huge reach up there. Our primary counties for here would be Joe Davies, Stephenson, and then Carroll County for those technicians. So when it comes to service time, our Dubuque office actually averages around the same, around that 2-hour response time on a down machine. We also do remote support, so we have our remote technicians where you call in, and that's what a lot of the fixes anymore. It's an error code, or it's a, hey, I've got this troubleshooting thing. You can call in, our remote team hops on. They typically are able to address a call within a half hour to an hour, and that can help as well to troubleshoot the things where it doesn't take a turn the wrench type of fix.
So we come in the morning, a machine breaks down, we would have a technician in Freeport within a 2-hour period?
Yeah, so we'll never guarantee every single call. It's an average. You'll definitely see someone by the end of the day. Your machine's down, you'll see someone by the end of the day, guaranteed.
Okay, Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley. Mrs. Williams.
Nate, this question's directed towards you. I am not familiar with this. In one of your
Sir.
emails, you said current rates, IMO.
Okay, thank you.
In my opinion.
In your.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mrs. Williams, is your microphone on?
I'm sorry, it's not.
Thank you.
I'm done.
Okay, Mr. Whalen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In doing my own investigation in the limited time I had today, I was fairly impressed with what I saw from the Access Systems bid in comparison directly to Gordon Flesch. I kind of eliminated the other 2 companies pretty quickly in what I looked into. But I just got to say, I'm with Mr. Hadley on this one. I have a hard time when we can get a deal on copiers for a 5-year period and not have to budget anything for them for 5 years. I can't turn that down. You know, and Sharp's a brand name that's been around many years. Again, I don't beseech our department heads. I understand why they would say what they're saying. You know, I get all that. But as a steward of the county's money, I think I don't know. I mean, if we got to handle a breakdown every once in a while and they want to call me and give me a hard time, I'll say, well, I'm able to budget money for you somewhere else because of this, potentially too. So I just hope we all keep that in mind. Thank you.
Mr. Frick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too look at this as I understand that people don't really like change. Things are different. You deal with different people, but we do that in the business world all the time. And when I look at this number with Gordon Flesch, which our grant covers, but then it costs us as a county $80,000 over a 5-year period, I struggle with that amount. And I look at Access Systems here. That's not like they're a startup company that we looked at with other organizations and different things we looked at here. And so I would have to say that I would also not vote for this motion because of those reasons. Thank you.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to approve Gordon Flesch. Is there any more discussion? Mr. Diddens, go ahead.
Sorry. Looking at Mr. Larson's comments, he said the terms clarification, otherwise good. What has that been addressed?
Could you repeat your question?
Our state's attorney,
right?
We asked him to review the contracts, and on Gordon Flesch, Mr. Larson said terms clarification, otherwise good. So has that been addressed?
Administrator Newcomer.
Yes, we did clarify that that would be a 5-year term as well.
Okay, I didn't. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Mr. Jokerst.
Yes, I had a question on the Sharp copiers. If they do only last 3 years, do they get replaced, or do we have to replace them with our money?
My understanding was you would be replacing them.
Depending on what it is. The county would be replacing them if they wear out in 3 years.
If it's completely dysfunction or no longer functional,
right?
I guess we could ask
is there
the access.
What, a 1-year warranty or what's on this?
Come up to the podium, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nathan Johnson. Yeah, so they are guaranteed under a maintenance agreement. So a 5-year maintenance agreement, if the machine goes down, we have to replace it on our dime. If we cannot fix it, it is swapped out. Now, beyond that 5-year maintenance, we will eventually hit a time, maybe 7, 8 years from now, where parts are no longer available. You can continue to renew that maintenance agreement. We will get to a point, you can't just run this for 20 years, where we will say, hey, no longer parts available, and you will be communicated that, and then you'll have an option to either remove from maintenance or continue maintenance knowing that you'll have to replace it on your own dime. But up until that point, everything is guaranteed. 100% warranty, all toner, everything included in the contract.
And that's in the contract?
That is in the contract.
All right, thank you.
All right, Mrs. Baker.
Hold up, this question's for you as well. To kind of follow up with what Larry said, how soon, so say you do get this, how soon will the equipment come in?
How soon do you need it?
Okay, and then is it top of the line, like the newest stuff, or we're not getting any
This is
refurbished,
all brand new. This is all brand new gear, all current model. I mean, right now, we put out about $3 million in inventory in a month. We're talking less than $100,000 of gear here. This is not a large install for us. We've done installs pushing $1 million for a single customer. This is an everyday situation for us, and this is top of the line gear.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. McKenna.
Yes, thank you. So is it my understanding that maintenance is included in the first contract with the $84,000 without the buyout? This maintenance agreement?
For access systems?
Yeah, for access, yes.
I believe, according to what this is, the purchase price would be $173,618.24, and then the maintenance would be separate. But if, depending on how this vote goes, if it doesn't pass and you want to make another motion to approve, you could vote to include the maintenance as part of the expense from the grant.
And the buyout price is only kicks in if we choose to buy out before the 5-year contract is up.
Can you repeat that, please?
And the buyout of $88,000 only kicks in if we...
No, the buyout is for Gordon Flesh. If you do not approve it,
All right.
you
All right,
have
thank
to
you.
buy out the contract.
That's what I wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Yeah, we're currently under contract with Gordon Flesh due to everybody having different timelines. The grant was a way for us to co-term to look into this and try to get everybody on the same timeline.
Any other questions on the approval of Gordon Flesh? Ms. Hayes.
I have a quick question. Maybe I'm just slow. But, so we're looking at $173,000 plus another $80,000 for the maintenance?
What we're looking at right now is the contract with Gordon Flesh for $267,453 plus $1,438.39 per month.
Correct.
That's the motion on the floor.
Okay. But for access, what is the total? It's close to that.
No,
No?
the purchase price is $173,618, and then the monthly maintenance would be $723.80.
Then why do I have something in front of me that says 84,000? We don't know.
I guess only you can answer that.
Oh, but and we are not responsible for that.
No, we gotta add in the buyout. So that's where you get the $173.
Okay. All right. I just don't want any hidden costs. That's all. I want to make sure we're comparing apples to apples. Thank you.
All right, Mrs. Williams for a second time.
I remembered what my next question was. I'm under the understanding that all of the departments are going to get new copy machines, is that correct?
Correct.
So the grant money that came in that we've heard about, that Chanel and you did, is going to cover all of this?
Yes. Now, there is one caveat to this because it has to be tied to the court system in some way. The one facility that doesn't fall under that is the nursing center. Health department, you can tie to the courts. County clerk, you can tie all of them due to cases that go through there. But nursing facilities, we couldn't include into the grant because it's a court technology grant. So we have everything. But what we can do, and I've talked to Marcos, is we'll have these machines that we just paid off. We could cycle some out there, to take care of their older stuff. But I can't make a courthouse grant cover all of our facilities. It's covering 90% of the county.
Okay, I'm just curious too. I see that the grant money was 200, that specific line item for the
Yes.
printers was 267,000. Do we have to use that grant money like line item by line item?
It has to go towards copiers.
So I guess my question is, if we don't use that 267,000, then the difference between it, can we use that someplace else, or do we just lose that
We
money?
lose it. That's why it's been talked about just to put it on the maintenance agreement, so we just pay ahead, which both companies would allow us to do. So you just pay ahead in the maintenance, and then you just wouldn't have a monthly fee for however long that carries you out.
Thank you.
Yep.
So just to piggyback off of that, if I could, if my math is correct, for access systems with the purchase price plus the maintenance over 60 months, you're looking at 217,000. So it's a difference of approximately 50,000 between Gordon Flesh for the purchase price and access systems purchase price plus maintenance. So that would be 50,000 that would have to go back. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Whalen.
Mr. Chairman, again, just to clarify that further, on top of the Gordon Flesh, there would be an additional cost for maintenance in the next 5 years. True statement?
For Gordon
Yeah, I
Flesh?
missed that, yes.
Yes, but I would also like to point out that we are already paying maintenance in every office, and regardless of what we do today, no matter what company we go with, we will still be saving 20 to 25%
Right.
because we're buying the equipment up front. So all the equipment costs go away that we're currently paying for the lease. And then our maintenance actually goes down as well due to the usage and being split amongst more departments than what had it before. So,
But what I'm saying is the comparative cost is $217,000 for one bid and 267 plus 1,100 a month or whatever it was per month.
14,
Yeah, 1,400 a month times 12 times 60.
86,000.
So you're going to be over 300, well over $300,000 for that. So it's a very hefty difference here.
I do
for
understand
copiers.
that.
So
With the other way though, just remember, we're donating 50,000 back as well.
Anyone else before we vote on?
Mr. Chairman?
Oh, Mr. Diddens, go ahead.
I just want to say, after listening to my distinguished colleagues, I won't be voting for Gordon Flesh. Access systems makes more sense. Save the taxpayers some money. So, thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, again, the motion on the floor is to approve Gordon Flesh. Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Luann Hayes.
Aye.
Todd McKenna. No. William Hadley.
No.
Dale Diddens.
No.
Lynette Williams. No. Adam Modero.
Aye.
Larry Jogers.
No.
Scott Holmes.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester. No. Nicole Baker.
Aye.
Steve Frick.
No.
Tim Whalen.
No.
Ronnie Bush.
Aye.
Five A, 8 nay. Motion fails.
Okay. Is there another motion to be made on the floor?
Yes,
Mr. Hadley, go ahead.
yes, I'd like to make the motion to accept the bid from Access System for $173,618.24. Included also in that, the maintenance agreement that is $723.80 for a 5-year period. My math might be off a little bit, $43,440.
Can I ask with your motion, is that to be covered
Included.
inclusive with the grant money?
With the grant money.
Is there a second to that by Mr. Whalen? Is there discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take roll.
William Hadley.
Yes.
Dale Diddens.
Yes.
Lynette Williams.
Yes.
Adam Modero.
Aye.
Larry Jogers.
Aye.
Scott Holmes.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester. Nicole Baker.
Aye.
Steve Frick.
Yes.
Tim Whalen. Ronnie Bush. Luann Hayes.
Aye.
Todd McKenna.
Aye.
13A, 0 nay. Motion carries.
All right, that motion passes. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate you coming in on a special meeting like this. Is there a motion to adjourn? By Mr. Bush, second by Mrs. Hayes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.